Whenever the topic of gallbladder surgery comes up, people, especially those who hardly ever see these cases, love to shrug it off with gallbladder surgery, what's the big deal? Sure, if it's a straightforward case, it might not be rocket science. Even the operating room staff sometimes act like it's just another day at office. But any insightful surgeon who actually knows what they are doing will tell you there is more to this simple surgery, especially when it's done with those fancy minimally invasive tools. Calling a laparoscopic cholecystectomy no big deal is as risky as ignoring a stray dog bite and not getting a rabies vaccine. That small wound can turn deadly if you are not careful. Hi, I'm Gaurav and you're watching Gut Instincts. Today we explore the question, is gallbladder stone surgery really simple? I want to discuss this further, especially given how common these surgeries are. In my previous video, what surgery is done for gallbladder stones, I broke down the complexities using the analogy of test cricket. But I know not everyone loves cricket. Some people don't care for it at all. So, this video is for them. No theory, no cricket, just straight talk. Let me explain this in another way. Suppose you are in Delhi and want to visit the Taj Mahal with your family on a sunny day in October. You have a safe, well maintained car. You are a good driver who follows traffic rules. The road is smooth. Other drivers are also behaving. You are in a good mood. Chances are you will have a safe journey. Now, translate that to laparoscopic cholecystectomy. It's a planned surgery for an uncomplicated gallstone problem. You are in a good hospital under the care of a skilled surgeon. Equipment is functioning, the team is trained, everyone is a good mental space. Again, chances are the surgery will go smoothly. Of course, these two scenarios aren't perfectly comparable. Highways are chaotic, operating rooms are usually controlled environments, more like commercial airlines, with safety protocols and checklists. But this comparison matters because when things go wrong, the public often blames only the surgeon, and that's not always fair. Even with all variables held constant, you can increase the safety margin. In our road trip example, you might choose a luxury car and the Yamuna Expressway instead of NH44. In surgery, you might use advanced gadgets and high-end operating room setup. But let's get into the messy stuff now. In driving, many things can go wrong. Car issues, bad roads, reckless drivers around, even your own mood. Nature can throw surprises too. Imagine driving on a foggy January morning. You can't see a thing. In surgery, some factors are under control. The surgeon's skill, team expertise, equipment quality. But surgeons are human. Speed and swagger occasionally takes the wheel, leaving surgical fundamentals in the rear view mirror. Not ideal, but not uncommon either. Even the best car won't save you if you overspeed. Do not wear a seatbelt or just pop your head out of the sunroof. In surgery, the GPS is the surgeon's mental model, shaped by training and experience. It's never perfect, but it's critical. Sometimes, I think the surgeon's mental model and real time decision making are more important than any other factor. You can only get better at it over time, but still, it'll never be perfect. Technology is amazing, no question, but it's the mental model of the surgeon that really makes the difference. All those high tech robots and gadgets, think of them as trusty sidekicks. Great for backup, but only as smart as their captain. It's like using AI. If you already have good ideas, it helps you do even better. But if you are confused to start with, it can make things even messier. Basically, tech can't rescue a bad plan, but it can make a good one shine. Even the most advanced surgical robots can't replace a skilled, insightful surgeon. In fact, piling on high-tech tools can sometimes give an unprepared surgeon a false sense of confidence, and that's when trouble starts. In the movie Spider-Man Homecoming, Tony Stark or Iron Man tells Peter Parker, if you are nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it. It was a pivotal moment. Tony wasn't just taking back the suit, he was challenging Peter to grow beyond the tech and prove he's a hero by character, not costume. Celebrity chef Ranbir Brar once said, if you want to test a chef's skill, ask them to make aloo jeera. It's simple. but there's nowhere to hide. A perfectly made aloo jeera demands balance, technique, and restraint, qualities that separate a seasoned chef from a showy one. Surgery is the same. Mastery lies in the basics. Let's now move beyond the surgeon and the equipment. Even the safest drivers in the safest cars can still face dangers on the road. Bad roads, unpredictable drivers around, and volatile weather can all compromise safety. If we have the option to choose a better road, we should. In our example above, the Yamuna Expressway instead of NH44. Whether the drivers around us are good or bad is just luck. For a planned trip, weather apps can help you pick a good day. But with last minute plans, there is not much you can do. When the weather is bad and you have to drive, safety should be your top priority, not how quickly you get there. Now imagine this. You are halfway to Agra and suddenly the NH44 turns into a broken potholed mess. Visibility drops and you almost hit a truck. Your GPS reroutes you through a narrow village road with no streetlights. You are still in the same car, still the same driver. But the terrain has changed. The rules of the game are no longer the same. This is what happens when a routine gallbladder surgery turns into a battlefield. The terrain, in surgical terms, is the anatomy, and in difficult cholecystectomy cases, the anatomy can be distorted beyond recognition. Raging infection, dense adhesions, frozen Callet's triangle, a contracted gallbladder plastered to the small or large intestine, a surprise Mirizi syndrome. These aren't bumps, they are landslides. And unlike driving, you can't just park the car and wait for the fog to clear. In these moments, the surgeon's mental model must shift gears. This is where experience, humility, and preparedness matter more than flair. You don't win medals for finishing fast. You earn respect for knowing when to pause, reassess, and choose a safer route. Here comes the bailout techniques. These are not signs of weakness, they are signs of wisdom. A subtotal or partial cholecystectomy is like taking a detour when the highway is blocked. You don't remove the gallbladder entirely, but you avoid injuring the bile duct, a complication that can ruin lives and careers. Conversion to an open surgery is like switching from a car to a tractor when the road turns into a muddy field. You need better traction, better control, and better visibility. And occasionally, the safest decision is to not to proceed at all, to close, regroup, and refer. That's not cowardice, that's courage. Because in surgery, just like in life, knowing when to stop is as important as knowing how to go. So, the next time someone says, gallbladder surgery, what's the big deal? Tell them, it's not the car, it's the terrain. And not every terrain is forgiving. So, is gallbladder surgery really simple? Well, only if you believe that every road trip is smooth, every weather forecast is accurate, and every driver around you is sober and sane. The truth is, laparoscopic cholecystectomy can be a journey through unpredictable terrain. Sometimes it's a breezy drive on the Yamuna Expressway. Other times, it's a foggy detour through potholes with a bullock cart blocking your lane and Google Maps gasping for signal. And in those moments, what matters most isn't the horsepower of the surgeon's tools, it's the horsepower of the team's judgment. As the legendary surgeon Sir Harold Alice once said, the best surgeons know when not to operate. And as the American humorist Will Rogers put it, good judgment comes from experience, and a lot of that comes from a bad judgment. So yes, gallbladder surgery can be simple, but only when everything aligns. And when it doesn't, it demands the kind of insight that no textbook, no gadget, and no ego can substitute. If you are a patient watching this, remember, the best surgeons aren't the ones who promise speed, they are the ones who promise safety. And if you are a surgeon watching this, remember, it's not about conquering the terrain, it's about respecting it. And if you ever find yourself in a foggy gallbladder, Callet's triangle, don't be afraid to slow down and switch on your hazard lights. Thanks for watching Gut Instincts. Stay curious, stay safe. Bye.